They laughed when she first stepped onto the parade ground, a fresh cadet in an oversized uniform with boots still stiff from the supply room, her posture too straight, her eyes too calm, and her silence mistaken for weakness. As whispers followed her through the ranks, she won last a week, another paper recruit, probably here because of connections, and even the drill sergeant barely concealed his skepticism as he barked orders meant to break her, sending her to the back of the formation. Assigning her the heaviest packs, the longest night watches, the most punishing drills, yet she endured every insult without protest, memorized every command, observed every failure, and absorbed every lesson as the others competed to outshine one another, never realizing she was studying them. And when live-fire exercises began, her precision quietly surpassed expectations, though credit was given elsewhere, and when tactical simulations followed, her strategies were ignored, only to later be repeated by louder voices and praised as brilliance. But she said nothing, because she knew the truth would surface soon enough, and it did on the morning the base received unexpected inspection orders, when a classified operational failure triggered an immediate command review, and all personnel were ordered to assemble as confusion spread and rumors exploded across the barracks, until suddenly the gates opened and a convoy arrived, officers snapping to attention as a figure stepped out. Wearing a sharply pressed commanding uniform, her insignia gleaming, her authority unmistakable, and the laughter died instantly when they recognized her face beneath the cap, the same cadet they had mocked hours earlier now standing before them as their commanding officer, revealed to be a senior operative placed under cover to evaluate leadership, discipline, and integrity within the unit, her voice steady as she addressed them, recounting every overlooked act of professionalism, every careless breach of protocol, every cruel joke, and every moment of quiet competence, explaining that command is not given to the loudest or strongest but to those who lead without ego and serve without needing applause. And as she reassigned roles, promoted the deserving, relieved the unfit, and restructured the entire unit in minutes, the weight of her presence reshaped the atmosphere, transforming ridicule into respect, arrogance into humility, and disbelief into resolve, ending with a single reminder that the uniform does not define the soldier, character does, and that the true test of leadership is how one treats those they believe have no power, leaving the unit forever changed, not by punishment, but by the lesson that authority earned in silence is the most formidable force of all. They laughed the moment the fresh cadet walked into the barracks, her uniform new, her boots unscuffed, her expression calm in a place where confidence was measured by volume and aggression, and the veterans quickly judged her as another weak recruit who would wash out before the first serious drill, mocking her behind her back and sometimes directly to her face as instructors pushed her harder than the rest, assigning her extra weight, longer drills, and the most exhausting tasks, believing pressure would expose her limits. Yet she endured everything in silence, never arguing, never complaining, watching closely as egos clashed and discipline slipped, memorizing procedures, noting who followed orders only when watched and who maintained standards even when no one was looking, while during early weapons training her accuracy quietly exceeded expectations but went unnoticed, and during tactical briefings her insights were ignored because she spoke without arrogance, allowing others to take credit, all while the laughter continued, blind to the truth that she was not there to prove herself, but to observe them. As days passed, the unit entered advanced field exercises where mistakes carried consequences, and under pressure cracks began to show missed signals, poor coordination, careless safety violations. Yet the cadet adapted flawlessly, moving with discipline, executing commands precisely, and compensating for others' errors without drawing attention, even saving a failed exercise by quietly repositioning her team, though credit again went elsewhere, until one morning the base was thrown into Confusion by an unexpected command alert announcing an immediate leadership inspection following classified operational failures, forcing all personnel into full assembly as tension spread through the ranks, rumors racing faster than orders, and when a military convoy arrived and senior officers exited with sharp salutes, the unit snapped to attention, unaware that the true test was about to begin, and that every joke, every insult, every careless act had already been recorded. Silence fell when a commanding officer stepped forward from the convoy, her uniform immaculate, her insignia unmistakable, and disbelief rippled through the formation as they recognized her. The same cadet they had mocked only hours earlier now revealed as a senior officer placed under cover to evaluate leadership, discipline, and character within the unit, and as she addressed them, her voice calm but absolute, she recounted specific failures and quiet successes with precision, explaining that leadership is revealed not through rank or noise but through consistency, integrity, and respect for those perceived as powerless. Before issuing immediate command decisions, reassignments, promotions, removals executed without hesitation, leaving the unit transformed in minutes, ending with a final reminder that the uniform does not grant authority, behavior does, and that the greatest mistake a soldier can make is underestimating the quiet one standing beside them. The laughter started the moment the fresh cadet stepped through the gates, her uniform crisp and untouched, her movements controlled but lacking the aggressive swagger the others respected, and within minutes she was labeled weak, inexperienced, and temporary, a background character in a place that rewarded dominance, while instructors seemed eager to push her harder than the rest, assigning brutal physical drills, heavier loads, and exhausting night duties meant to expose her breaking point. Yet she accepted every order without complaint, standing silently as insults echoed around her, studying the rhythm of the unit, memorizing who cut corners, who abused authority, and who upheld standards even when no one was watching. As days passed, the mockery grew bolder, jokes shouted across the barracks, smirks exchanged during formations, and whispered bets placed on how long she would last, but she responded only with discipline, executing every task with precision, paying close attention during weapons training, where her shooting accuracy quietly surpassed most of the unit, though louder personalities took the spotlight, and during tactical briefings her suggestions were overlooked because she spoke calmly rather than forcefully, allowing others to repeat her ideas as their own, all while she continued observing, documenting failures of leadership, breaches of safety, and patterns of behavior that would later matter far more than raw strength. The unit moved into advanced field exercises where stress magnified flaws, communication broke down during night maneuvers, tempers flared under exhaustion, and careless decisions turned simulated missions into failures, yet the cadet adapted effortlessly, compensating for mistakes without drawing attention, repositioning teams, correcting errors in silence, and preventing complete collapse during a live-fire drill when a critical command was missed, but still she received no recognition, reinforcing the belief that she was insignificant, even as senior command quietly reviewed performance reports that told a very different story. Everything changed when an early morning command alert echoed across the base, announcing an immediate inspection following classified operational concerns, freezing normal training and forcing all personnel into full assembly, tension spreading as rumors swept through the ranks, and as a military convoy approached the gates and senior officers stepped out with sharp salutes, the unit straightened in confusion, unaware that the inspection was not random but the conclusion of an evaluation already underway, one that had begun the moment the fresh cadet first arrived. Silence fell as a commanding officer stepped forward from the convoy, her presence authoritative, her uniform flawless, and disbelief rippled through the formation as recognition set in, revealing that the officer addressing them was the same cadet they had mocked relentlessly, now exposed as a senior operative placed under cover to assess leadership, discipline, and character, and as she spoke, She detailed specific incidents with precision, naming unreported violations, moments of integrity, and acts of quiet professionalism, leaving no doubt that every action had been seen and recorded. With calm efficiency, she issued immediate command decisions, reassigning roles, promoting those who had demonstrated true leadership, relieving those unfit for command, and restructuring the unit to eliminate toxic hierarchies, making it clear that authority is earned through responsibility, not volume, and that true strength lies in accountability. While the once loud critics stood in silence, forced to confront the consequences of their behavior as the unit transformed before their eyes. As the formation dismissed and training resumed under new leadership, the atmosphere had permanently changed, the laughter replaced by focus, respect, and discipline, and the lesson settled deeply into every soldier present that the uniform does not define the leader, character does, and the most dangerous mistake in any unit is underestimating the quiet one, because true authority